any milk except our own mother's milk, and only when we are babies. We don't drink our mother's milk when we are 8, 15 or 30, so why would our bodies accept another creature's milk? Did you know that we are the only animals that drink other species' milk? Pandas don't drink gorillas' milk. Dogs don't drink goat's milk. Even cows don't drink cow's milk once they've grown up. They wean themselves naturally. The fact is that many humans can't drink milk from other animals. In the United States, as many as 80% of African Americans, 90% of Asian Americans, and 60% of Hispanics are lactose intolerant to some degree. Those of us who can digest cow's milk are thought to have a genetic mutation that occurred thousands of years ago, so we would survive on a herd's milk under harsh conditions. Dairy makes you fat. She talks about dairy food has been linked to cancer. So again, I really urge you to read this stuff when you have the chance. So she talks about, calcium. Obviously, those people will be very interested in knowing whether not drinking milk, whether you get your calcium. And I've always known that there isn't a lot of calcium in milk. That's not the reason why I drank milk. Don't be fooled. There is very little calcium in milk. You are just led to believe that. And I found that out a long time ago and I felt so cheated. But here she talks about calcium milligrams per 100 gram serving. It's 100 gram of butter. You get 20 milligrams of calcium. In whole milk, 118. Chickpeas, 150. Collard's green, 203. Can you see where this is going? Parsley, 203. Soybeans, 226. Almonds, 234. Listen up for this, guys. Sesame seeds, 1,160. Hence why I sesame seed everything these days. And hijiki sea vegetables, 1,400. So we kind of move away from the traditional dairy products and find more and more calcium in vegetable products. And milk underlies asthma and allergies. Dairy food has been linked to diabetes. And so she talks about eggs, and she talks about, whether it's bad for your heart, and hormones, and all the arguments that she puts forward is very, very, unarguable with. About how dairy is bad for the planet, how to kick dairy. She talks also in chapter 4. She talks more about nasty stuff, the white sugar and processed foods, and this is where I started off. I cut all of this out, and hence why I lost the 8.8 pounds that I did. She talks about how sugar is bad for the body. I'm not going to bore you with that because we all know this. She talks about processed food. Again, look it up. And chapter 5 is finally where she starts talking about the foods that you can eat. Kind foods. And then she has a quote here that's an ancient Ayurvedic proverb. It says, "When diet is wrong, medicine is of no use. When diet is correct, medicine is of no need." So she talked about here how food is healing for the body. It's really tracing back to the way our ancestors ate and about the findings of the kind of medicinal properties of food, and it just all makes sense to me. So kind food number 1 is whole grains, which I eat a lot of these days. These days people lay off of whole grains and carbohydrates because of the influence of Atkins and whatnot, but I've been eating whole grains like crazy for the last week and I lost 2 pounds. So she talks about whole grains. Whole grains include brown rice, quinoa, wild rice, farro, millet, barley, whole oats and more. Kind food number 2 is proteins. She actually has a table here comparing the protein value between steak and beans, because a lot of people are going to be concerned about being vegan and whether you get your proteins. And obviously you don't just live off beans, but there are other things with lots of protein in it. But here I'll read you the difference between steak and beans. So she's kind of showing you the argument of switching from steak to beans. And then she talks about different types of protein such as tofu, tempeh and seitan. Interesting things that you really should know if you want to have a varied diet. And food number 3 is vegetables, and we don't really want to go for vegetables because we know how good they are for you. Veggies are alkalizing, tons of fiber, complex carbs, antioxidants, etc. She talks about whether to go organic or not. We know that argument. Then she talks about dessert. And she talks about, different types of sweeteners such as brown rice syrup, barley malt, maple syrup, agave nectar, molasses and fruit. She talks about magic foods such as miso, umeboshi plums, pickles, sea vegetables. Then in chapter 6 is nutritional FAQs. Will I get enough iron? And I think we'll go through whether you get enough iron, because I think a lot of people will want to know whether I'm going to become anemic from eating this. Many people, especially women, are concerned about becoming anemic. And this is actually very important because my mum is actually kind of anemic as well. She has extremely low iron count, and she kind of has to take iron pills. So it kind of runs in the family, and while I haven't been tested, it's always something I've always been very concerned about. Before you run out and drink some blood, it's important to understand a few things. A very plant-based diet is not iron deficient. Although plant-based iron requires a little vitamin C in the same meal for it to be fully absorbed, that's no biggie. Not only does the Kind diet contain a lot of iron-rich foods like whole grains, tofu, pumpkin seeds, lentils, and especially sea vegetables, it's rich in vitamin C packed foods as well, like broccoli, fruits, and leafy greens, which contains both. It's downright difficult not to get enough iron in the Kind diet. By eating lots of fresh and delicious foods, your body will take care of the iron levels just fine. In fact, too much iron can cause a serious problem, as anemia, causing free radicals and damage to internal organs. The chief sources of iron overload, iron supplements, and red meat. How will I get calcium, which we've talked about? Is plant-based diet high in fat? Obviously not. How do I get my omega-3s? Omega-3 fatty acids are vital in the functioning of your brain and heart. These days, fish oil is a popular source of omega-3, but it has its problems. First, like all animal products, fish oil tends to decompose and become unstable rather quickly, producing free radicals. Luckily for us, plant-based sources of omega-3s are much more stable than fish oil and more complete with antioxidants that clean up free radicals. Second, 15 to 30% of that fat in fish oil is saturated, double the saturated fat content in plant oils. Third, let's not forget that fish contains industrial toxins, which introduce a host of other nasty problems. Finally, fish make their own omega-3s from, drumroll, the plants they eat, just like we should. Omega-3 fatty acids can be found in flaxseed oil, hemp seed oil, soybean oil, soybeans, and walnuts. Just a teaspoon of flaxseed oil a day will do just fine. Should I avoid salt? She talks about that. She talks about supplements. She talks about vitamin B12. She talks about enzymes, water, alcohol. So now we are on to part 2 of the book, Living the Kind Life. I want you guys to actually read that chapter, it's very important. But we'll go on to chapter 7, which talks about flirting, which is the first stage of the Kind diet. So she talks about flirting, which is basically when you can try on the diet for size, see how it goes, which is kind of what I did in week 3. And, you know, I feel like she is very good that she does this, because it's not throwing anyone into the deep end. So she kind of slowly puts you into it. She has different actions that you can do. Action 1 is to start dating the vegetarian restaurants in your area. Action 2 is to find your nearest health food store and go, which, you know, I did the vegetarian restaurant thing. I went to a health food store. Buy some organic brown rice and unrefined sea salt. Make a pot of rice of yourself and eat it with your regular meals over the next couple of days, which I did. Action 4, take a yoga class, which I haven't yet. And Action 5, get a feel of what being vegetarian is like by going 4 weeks without beef, chicken or pork. I didn't really need to do this, I kind of knew. So anyway, she talks about detoxing, which I'm going through at the moment. Detoxing, you know, when your body is like ridding of all of the bad rubbish that you've eaten. Any reduction in your animal product consumption is, to me, a total unequivocal 3-way win. Your win of being healthier, the planet wins by suffering less of the ecological impact of the meat and dairy industries, and an animal wins by not getting eaten. After flirting for a while though, you will feel some interesting, exciting changes, and your body will naturally begin to push you to the next stage, which my body is going through, and it's really shocking. Please follow your instincts. So she talks about going vegan, and she talks about all the things that you can eat, building different meals, and she even has here meal plans, which I know a lot of you guys kind of like. Then she talks about what to stock in your cupboard, and that's really interesting. So, making the transition. Eat your evening meals early, which I do. Ramp up your chewing skills, which I try my best to. Check in with others online, which I am. And detox and cravings. This is interesting to talk about detox and cravings, because it's exactly what I'm going through at the moment. Detox and cravings. The superhero diet can be intense. When you start eating such natural whole foods, your body will begin to change quickly. If for any reason you feel you need to ease off the diet a little bit to slow down the ride, that's fine. Just don't regress all the way back to square one. In the first few weeks or even months, expect to experience some degree of detoxing. Your body may clean itself quickly and with some vigor, so consider detox a great adventure. By giving up most of the vegan processed foods, excess fruit and white sugar, and by centering your diet on whole grains, your body may experience all the effects listed under vegan detox, but with greater intensity. Your menstrual cycle may go a little wonky for a few months as well, but soon you'll experience all the benefits: giddy moods, regular periods, and the disappearance of old aches and pains, and much more. Detoxing happens on an emotional level too, so if you find that you're angry or sad, get whatever support you need. When I first followed a squeaky clean superhero diet, I felt grumpy for a week. That's not unusual. Be sure to take care of yourself as you detoxify. The superhero plan is basically very, very clean eating. And I wouldn't really say that I'm doing superhero yet. I'm in between. I don't eat a lot of soy products, and I don't eat a lot of packaged foods, which a lot of vegan dieting does. So one day I'll be on a superhero plan. The rest of the book is pretty amazing too. She talks about engaging other members of the household, which I have. My sister has joined the crew, and what's really shocking is that my sister is the biggest meat eater you'll know. She used to, for her it was meat and tea, that was it. And for me it was vegetables and carbs and cake. You know, she's the biggest meat eater I know, and she is now a vegan. I have to say, anyone can do this. Like, you have to have the right frame of mind, but for her it was very slow and gradual, you know. Like, because I cook everyone's food here, I stopped making so much meat. I did always make meat because there would be complaints if I didn't, but she ate less of it because it was fattening because of the saturated fat in meat, and she ate less because we didn't buy it as much because it was expensive. And then she started noticing that her up in vegetables made her feel better, and then she noticed that she didn't crave meat the way that she used to, and it's just slowly become like that. And it's very similar for me. So I'm just saying that if you are a hardcore meat eater and you want to convert, or you feel like this lifestyle is going to benefit your weight loss or benefit your health, don't be afraid. It can so happen. And I feel like this book is very complete. She kind of cares for you all round. There aren't that many questions unanswered. She even has a section on travel and for students and going on the road and entertaining for parties. And then she also talks about getting fit and exercise, which, you know, I am extremely happy about, because she's not only talking about the way you eat. So she has some really amazing recipes, which I've bookmarked some of them because I kind of really wanted to show you. This is crispy tofu slices, chocolate peanut butter cups, peach crumble, which I'm going to do soon. This is nabayaki udon. I made this today, braised daikon in mirin and shoyu. I made that today, really good. Candied ginger pears, which we've done already. And I just have to say that the recipes are as fantastic as they sound and look. I'm excited to keep looking through it, and I've basically gone through the entire book with you. There is actually so much more to what I've just told you in this video. This book is like my Bible. If you are from the UK, you can buy this at thebookdepository.com for like £10 or something. It's not that expensive. But I do highly recommend that you get it. That is the Kind Diet in the quickest way I could possibly, you know, tell you guys about. I hope some of you guys are interested in this kind of lifestyle. I'm not becoming a vegan to lose weight. I'm becoming a vegan for my health. And it just so happens that I'm getting skinny on it. I'm very thankful that I found this book. It's life-changing for me, and I know it's been life-changing for a lot of people. If I succeed on this, I hope you guys follow. And if not, try and eat more whole grains and more vegetables, and we'll see how it goes. But I would really like to hear about how you guys are doing in terms of your weight loss, and you know, if there are any vegans out there who have done the Kind Diet or read it or what they thought about it. Really, really interesting to know. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you found that useful. I'll see you later. Bye.